All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, November 7th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, markets today here with another, basically a gap and go pretty much. I told the members this morning that we're probably going to continue to trend here today. I know a lot of people were looking for some mean reversion maybe after Powell, but I kind of figured we were going to trend, mainly because we don't really need to mean revert here. So we've been kind of topped out here. We had a little nominal high there, but since the 14th, we've had a 3-week pullback to the 50 MA. So you just broke out. Yes, I know that the move is dramatic. 2% on the futures is not a small move. And then you add this in, it's like 3% in 2 days. But you didn't, you warranted it, right? You're just now on breakout. So we're not really overbought here. And I think a lot of people's plan was here that we were going to mean revert. I heard a lot of talk and chatter yesterday about stocks that are going to reverse and close red for the week and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of event volatility. We've talked about this the last couple of weeks. Circling this exact time period, and that has now been released. And that's why we were not worried about this dip. We talked about the SPY 570 short puts. Got filled nicely just in time for that event volatility to start to unwind. We got a really nice move off of this. Yesterday I said, again, just keep trailing runners if you have them. And that's essentially been my plan here. What is the risk right now? Again, I think the risk here is honestly continued melt up. And I know it sounds ridiculous. We're overbought, whatever. We're not really overbought. Again, we have pulled back here for 3 weeks. Yes, we have had a massive rally already, but I just don't see it here. I still see the kind of appetite for not necessarily shorting, maybe shorting. I mean, definitely do see that in my feed, but I don't see real euphoria here. AAII. Pretty balanced. Yeah, bulls up tick, bears down tick, but not out of balance. We had put call ratio the lowest in several years earlier, or by the end of Friday. So, that's kind of getting released here. And I don't really think that, I'm not even sure we're going to get much of a pullback when we do digest. I think it's going to be more digestion. And, I think there really is actual melt up risk a la Jan 2018. Maybe October 2020, 2021. We talked about this before. I mean, look at 2021 here. You had that kind of big surge there, and then we kind of tailed out by the end of the year. The year before that, 2020, we had this kind of corrective period, and gap, Pfizer gap, and then just continued melt up. I just still see that kind of disbelief here, especially with small caps doing what they just did. Now, small caps, I think, do need to chill a little bit. 5-6% in 1 day is a lot. I think more so that you're going to have NQ and ES kind of not catch up because they're at all-time highs, but I think you'll have NQ catch up a little bit where it is in a double top right now, but the Russell does need to kind of slow down. Why can they catch up? I think your best case for that is Apple. And so weeks, 1, 2, 3 hits of the trend line. A third hit is usually a Pierce. There was. Weekly, arguably closed right on it. And this week we're right back up. If this pattern here on Apple, I was just showing this to members in our weekly live stream, but if this ascending triangle plays out, obviously we're going higher, but and it's going to take the market up, right? Measured move here. Let's just copy this. Right there. Copy it again. How high do you think the S&P is going to be if Apple hits 270? I'd imagine pretty high. So I don't really see anything too negative here on the tape. I don't see too many bulls right now. Could we do some backing and filling? Could we get a good mean reversion slice? Absolutely, at any time. Anytime you have a 200-point ES rally in 3 days, that's always going to be the case. There's always going to be a risk there. But I still see a lot of things that can catch up. Look at NVIDIA. Same kind of ascending wedge look, right? Actually, we can go right there, right? So a lot of things have this type of pattern. We talked about the transports. I've been talking about this all year. It looks like a breakout to me, right? So the way I'm playing it, leave runners on the winners you have and look for quality things that haven't broken out yet, that have good patterns. Look for things that are on discount, quality names, not just things that are hemorrhaging. Not just, don't buy just because it's cheap, but into quality support, good retraces, fib retraces, good support levels, and look for bounces there. So I don't really see anything too bearish right now. If that changes, I'll let you know. We get a high volume sell, especially if you close the week below 580 with a high volume sell. Yeah, then that would certainly indicate that there's a failed breakout possibility. But right now, market's still pretty strong. And I think if Apple catches up, by the way, they have a dividend tomorrow, 225, a little bit of GEX support there, so we'll see what that does. But I'm kind of watching this to catch up here. Microsoft too. I mean, right now, you look at the chart, lower highs is not really doing anything, but you look at the monthly, it's just coiling up here. So no real problems right now. Some things kind of topping out. Netflix probably gets to 800 and that's done there. Amazon, there's some GEX at 210. Meta, I don't know if that's ready to go through 6 just yet, but definitely Microsoft, Apple, and possibly NVIDIA too could be kind of getting that cavalry together. Anyway, triple Qs here, new all-time high, new all-time closing high. Rising wedge failed. I told you guys don't fall in love with these trend lines. We broke it, no follow through, and right back above. Let's get rid of that. So Qs on breakout. IWM pause day after a huge rally, that needs to digest. Dow pause day after a huge rally, that might need to digest too. SMH up 2.5, still slow, right? ASML not doing anything, KLA not doing anything, AMAT up today. Micron trying. Qualcomm had earnings, gap and crap, but NVIDIA, Broadcom, and TSM still fine. ARM also reporting earnings that had a nice jump today as well. So SMH still weaker than Carnivore, Aaron's favorite, IGV, which finally hit 100. And yeah, what can you say? There it is. I don't even have a target. I don't even know. I don't even have levels done past this right now. So, I mean, just what a perfect chart pattern. I mean, there's just love charts like that. Transports pause day, or actually minor retrace day after a huge breakout. This does need to digest too. That's a huge move yesterday. I haven't even mentioned the FOMC yet. And it's not, I think it's kind of a nothing burger. I mean, I talked about this over the last week, but I don't think Powell's going to say anything too important. That's kind of what Nick Tiramos said, and I take his word for it. They put him out there for a reason, and he didn't really say anything too important. But yields, backing off a little bit here today. He didn't really jawbone it down. He did say a few things. One of them being very hilarious. Policy is still restrictive. That's news to me. Another thing he said was that people feel next year could be even stronger than this year. And my honest reaction to that is the feels good meme. Another thing that he said was, I can't find the tweet, but the move here is because of growth and not inflation, move in yields. I agree in the short term, but I think it will become inflation. Now we'll see where the Fed funds effective. It should get updated tomorrow, but if they cut by 25 and we're at 4.84, that's going to bring us down to 4.55 or 4.6. So the effective is not exactly where the actual is. So it'll be probably just below 4.6. That only leaves us with 40 basis points of room. So if they cut again, you're right on top of the 2-year. So basically he left the door open to maybe cut, maybe not, data dependent. Unless this thing goes down, they're not cutting again. Yield curve today finished flat. Maybe they finally topped out here on the long end. Possible false breakout on the 10s. It's not really negated yet though. And the 30s are still firm. This is just a retrace candle here. So this is, he must know something's coming. He must be able to, he must know that they're going to jawbone the 2 down, because that, I mean, you have less than 50 basis points room. So you cut now, it will become an inflation story. So anyway, XHB up nicely, up 70 cents. Remember, this has been a little rate sensitive lately. Still got to get above 120. VNQ inside day, nice bounce off the 100. XLF needs to cool off. KRE, KBE needs to cool off. Broker dealers, they don't never need to cool off apparently, but they probably will though. So I like Fins and the Russell a little bit less right now in the short term. Big move, they need to digest that. Oil, flat to higher. Is it really the market pricing in inflation in the short term? Probably not, because this would be a lot higher, wouldn't it? So there's definitely a point to be made there, and I think that's what the market is saying right now. That said, pattern-wise, if this does a little bit more consolidation, maybe another day or two, this is going to go higher. XLE, same thing, inside day after a huge move. This is not always related to oil price exactly. There's, restrictions that can get lifted with Trump being, having full control, full Congress, full everything. And XLE looks good. So that needs to just digest that move. XOP hasn't broken out yet, but you can see the white line there. And OIH, inside hammer. Good volume on yesterday's breakout. You guys know I like these stocks here. CCJ finally waking up a little bit here, up 4.6. Look what it did. Went right back to that trend line. Charts don't work and it's all just magic, but it magically just went to that line, backed off right there. And again, trend is still up, retrace. It's holding 50, like I said. It needed to do. URNM finally waking up as well. I think the likely scenario here is maybe a lower high at some point, and then possibly a higher low for another leg up. Same thing with NJ. I think above 24 puts us in better technical position though. Nat gas. Let me know if you care in the comments. Inside day, we had a nice move though. Yeah, it's okay. That's constructive right here. We'll see if it finally gets its leg up. It usually does into the 2nd, 3rd, 4th week of November, and then it's done. So we'll see. I haven't really paid attention much to it though. Dollar index reversal did not take out the low. We'll see what that does. Again, I want to see the end of the week, and I want to see if it can still try and go test 105.50, but good reversal today. Gold holding the 50. Short term, right, the market's looking at it like, okay, well, like Trump's like a fiscal hawk or something, and that's why gold is going to, come in, but trust me, every administration is going to spend money. So I think the real move is going to be higher, but that doesn't mean in the near term we can't have a cycle top, right? It's had a huge run. Everything has a correction at some point, right? But good distribution there. If it does take out the highs, I think it goes to 28.50, and then I think it's done for a while. But you're holding the 50 MA, so you haven't really done any technical damage, honestly. Weekly chart is just fine for now. But again, looks like some evidence of distribution there. Again, distribution tends to go in waves, though. It doesn't usually happen all at once. So you can make new highs as distribution takes place. Silver here up 80 cents. I'd like to see it stay above 32. Good bounce there. And we mentioned this on GDX yesterday in NSIL. They weren't down that much considering how hard gold and silver got hit. So maybe that's a sign that there's still some firmness left. Good bounce for platinum up 1.1. That still has a chance for a third higher low. If it does that, it can go right back up. And then palladium here, still struggling. This thing loves to have big trend moves and then fade them, and then, it doesn't build support on the way up or the way down. It did this time though. So we have this wedge base that we're into, and we'll see if it can hold that. Maybe it retests 1,000. I still think the lows are in though. And I still have embedded profit on my position, which is in Sprott. And if it, if I remove my trailing position, I just buy it back again. So copper here, complete mess. Not for the faint of heart here. This is worse than nat gas. Yeah, so yesterday it was acting as if markets doesn't care about inflation. Now it's, maybe reversing, but this is a vicious move. If this was in the ES, we'd all be very upset. So you break out of this range here, right? Here's your breakdown. There's your red bar. You're inside of that the whole way. You finally close above it. Follow through for one day, test the next pivot, breakdown bar with heavy volume, and then you reverse it the next day. That is a vicious cycle, shakeout pattern. Weekly, so best thing to do in this situation is zoom out. Don't get shaken out by the daily chart movement. Weekly, you still got a bull inside bar. You tested, you spiked the low, and you're going to close above. Assuming tomorrow holds up, you're going to close above that. So I'm going to give it the bull bias here. I know that shifted yesterday, but each day we get new information. Again, by the way, I'm not trading this. I'm just kind of giving you guys the information. But right now, I like that. I love when you sweep the low of an inside bar and you don't close below it. You're going to have good volume tomorrow too, by the end of the week. So copper's interesting. So now I'm kind of interested. Now I haven't really touched it in months, but now I'm interested because there's a pattern forming that is different than the slop that you guys know I just breeze through it every day because there's nothing there. Now there may be something, so we keep a closer eye on it. Bitcoin continuing to break out. It did pull back off the highs a little bit though, but we retested that level right there. Just a pause after a big move. So, big picture, weekly breakout. Nothing changed. I am noticing, I will say, the crypto miners, I have not liked them for a while, but my members ask me about these all the time. Mara, not so great right here, but Riot starting to firm up a little bit. Wolf has been very strong. That's been like the strong one. But Hut, Hive, some of these other ones have really started to firm up here. If Bitcoin sustains a breakout, this could be a catch-up sector. Again, I haven't loved them in a while because they have not performed. Look at where Mara it was in August. Look where it is now versus Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin sustains a breakout, that could change. You could see a rush into that sector. Just an idea. Not saying to jump into this, but just something to keep an eye on. Anyway, markets here. They may want to go test. They may want to go get 6,000 tomorrow for the Friday close. Get everybody feeling good into the weekend. But I think we'll probably stall out a little bit after that, even if we touch that. Next week is OPEX. We'll see if that shifts some money around. But yeah, I'm not fighting this tape right now. And I wouldn't fight it until I saw a high volume sell or a weekly close below, 580 or 5,800 SPX at this point. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. It's very hard to grow on YouTube these days. So, but anyways, you guys take care. Have a good night. I'll see you guys all in the next video.